The Apartment's Whisper. Tommy was home alone in his family's small apartment on the 7th floor. His parents had gone out for dinner, promising to be back soon. It was a quiet evening, just him, the television, and the occasional hum of traffic outside. Suddenly, a strange noise came from the hallway. It sounded like faint whispers, but Tommy thought maybe it was just the wind. Still, it gave him goosebumps. He turned up the volume on the TV to drown out the eerie sound. Moments later, the lights flickered and the TV went. The whispers returned, this time louder, and seemed to come from right outside his door. His heart pounded as he slowly approached the door, peeking through the peephole. Nothing. The hallway was empty. Then he noticed something odd. His apartment key, hanging by the door, was missing. Fear twisted in his stomach. He grabbed his flashlight and decided to check the building's power room. Maybe a fuse had blown. As he walked down the dimly lit hallway, the whispers followed him, like they were coming from the walls. Reaching the power room, he opened the door, and inside was not the tiny utility room he expected. Instead, it opened into a long, cold corridor like a hospital. Confused and scared, Tommy hesitated, but he felt an invisible force pulling him inside. The air was thick and cold as he walked further down the corridor, the whispers growing louder with each step. At the end of the corridor, he found a massive, rusty door labeled Ward 13. With trembling hands, he pushed it open. Inside was an old, abandoned hospital ward. Dust covered the floors and broken hospital beds were scattered everywhere. The smell of decay hung in the air. Suddenly, he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw a pale, ghostly figure in a torn hospital gown, its hollow eyes staring directly at him. Tommy froze, unable to move. The figure slowly raised a skeletal hand, pointing towards the dark corner of the room. Tommy followed its gaze and saw the words, "You should have stayed home," scratched into the wall. The whispers were now all around him, echoing in his mind. Panicking, he tried to run back to the apartment, but the corridor behind him had vanished. He was trapped. Desperate, he searched for an exit, only to find an old elevator. With no other choice, he stepped inside and pressed the button for the ground floor. The elevator shuddered and began its descent, but it didn't stop. It kept going down, past the basement, deeper into the earth. The whispers were now screaming, filling the small space with unbearable noise. When the doors finally opened, Tommy found himself in a dark underground morgue. The cold air burned his skin, and rows of body bags lined the walls. One of the bags slowly unzipped itself, and from within, Tommy saw his own face staring back at him. Terrified, he screamed, but no sound came out. The whispers drowned everything, and the last thing Tommy heard before everything went dark was a voice in his ear. "Welcome home."